Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Late Night Live number 39, the third week of March 2021. Late Night Live number 39. Holy moly, I know I say it every week, but I can't believe we've been doing this for so long. Today, I didn't really have a plan, but I decided that I want to try to replicate something that's not just a signature. What up, Otis Winnie? Welcome. I wanted to do something that wasn't a signature. I might work on the Sigsling and Sunday signature a little bit later, but I'm not really in the mood for a signature right now. I'm rarely in the mood to do some like lowercase letters. So I figured I would work on a letter or some page writing. And every once in a while, sort of periodically through the months or the years, I take a shot at this letter, the famous Madaraz letter by E.W. Bloser. So I figured tonight I would take a swing at it again and see how it goes. What up, Nan? All right. So that's all good. That's all good. Yeah, we're ready to rock. Turn my volume down just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, well, I'm just going to get warmed up and then we'll put this to the side. I'll get ready to write it. And then I will take an official stab at it a little bit later. What up, Jesse? I got a new lighting setup today. I mean, not new lights or anything. They're just in a new place. Unfortunately, we got that weird highlight on the TV back there. But the lights are in a new place so I can see the lines on the black paper today. I guess I gotta get my ink ready too. It's funny. My when you mentioned the haircut, Otis Winnie, my tap dance students said the same thing when I went into class on Sunday. Everybody's like, "Oh, Mike got a haircut this week," because there's that 1 or 2 weeks after I get a haircut that I don't really wear a hat at all. Like 1 week probably for sure, 2 weeks depending on if I have the energy to style it and that kind of stuff. It's funny to me that people that know me know that. Short hair. It's very short. I cut it a little bit shorter than normal even this time. Or not the normal, but just in the last couple times. Which I like. So clean cut. I'm taking a dance class tomorrow. It's not my class. I was subbing it last week, but I'm taking a dance class tomorrow, and I've been debating. I had the idea this a little while ago. I might wear like a suit just because I miss getting dressed up. A friend of mine had their birthday today, and they posted a photo all dressed up, and they said they haven't really dressed up in a really long time. And it got me thinking about how long it's been since I've dressed up. And I really like dressing up. I mean, I wear collars and bow ties a lot of the time for my online classes and for these late night sessions, but that's not really dressing up. That's just sort of my normal clothes. So I might I don't know that I want to get like sweaty in it, but I could always dry clean it afterwards. But I might wear like a full-on 3-piece suit tomorrow to class, maybe. What up, Lori? Welcome. Late nighters. Well, it's not late yet. Alright, I'll get you guys zoomed in here a wee bit closer. I miss dressing up too. And I've always liked the idea of just of not needing or having a reason to dress up, but just doing it because I want to. Like putting on a suit and going to get groceries and things like that. So tomorrow might be the start of that. I might put on a suit and go take class. I might also not do that. I haven't fully decided yet. I don't usually dance in my suits unless somebody's getting married or something, but we'll see. I tell anybody who misses dressing up to just dress up. Just do it. Don't wait for a reason. I always say that. So now it's kind of like, well, Mike, practice what you preach. Hey, Judy, how's it going? I feel like I haven't written very much this week. I've been carving paper and cutting paper pretty much all week. I haven't really written all that much. Oh yeah, or just when you dress up for groceries, dress up for everything. Just dress up. I love how many people have already posted and worked on it. This is, you can see here, this very poorly done EJOS. This is officially the one and only time I tried this week's Sig Sling and Sunday signature just a few minutes ago. And I decided that I'm not in the mood to do it right now. Maybe in a little, I might do it tonight a little bit later. Still on this live, we'll see how I feel. The carving paper is super fun. That's another thing. I might do that a little bit later here. Maybe I'll do a little carving example on the live. I haven't decided yet. See how long this letter takes me. I'm gonna try to, it'll be multiple iterations of this letter because I want to try to work on all the individual elements. Because one day, I do want to make this letter like perfect, but we'll see if that ever happens. It all depends. 2 to 3 hours is a long time for no wedding. That's true though. Whoa. Getting bellies on my shades today. There we go, that's what we want. Stop going over to the left. Or to the right. I think like that's a lot of people during sort of COVID this year. I mean, we're all so used to it's just sweatpants at home. I put on real clothes every time I have a session, but real clothes are like jeans and a t-shirt. When I teach my online class, every class I do at least a button-up, sometimes a button-up and a bow tie, just because that's what I always teach in when I'm not in class, so I feel like it should be the same. And also, I like wearing button-ups and bow ties. But I miss, like, really dressing up. Every year I host dance competitions, except for last year, and then we would be starting tomorrow. And that's the case. I wear, like, 3-piece suits every day, like different suits. I take all of my suits traveling with me, and I wear suits for like a month basically. Maybe even more longer than that. It's like a month and a half, 2 months. I wear 3-piece suits every day, and I miss that. It's just fun. It feels good. So since tomorrow would be the first day of dance competition if we weren't in the pandemic, I might dress fancy tomorrow. Fake clothes. Not like, there's not fake clothes, but nice clothes versus like sweatpants and whatnot. There we go. Hand is starting to relax a little bit. Then I gotta decide which suit. I have a few suits. I gotta decide which one I want to get. It's low intensity class, so I shouldn't get super sweaty, but still. I also need to check if it's raining tomorrow, because I have a 45 minute walk to the studio, and I may not want to do that in a suit. We'll see. Tonight, I could have. I didn't think of it till too late. Hey Rupam, good morning. I love that it's different times of the day for everybody. That's fun. Oh, I feel like my desk is getting wobblier and wobblier every day. I called a furniture restoration guy to get a quote on getting it fixed, and I'm nervous because I do want to get it fixed, but it means I won't have a desk for quite a long time if I give it to somebody to get fixed. But I do want to get it a little fixed. I'm worried if I dress up to write that I'll splash on my suits, that I'll get a nib snap or something on really nice clothes. The button-ups are nice, but I mean, they don't cost a lot of money, but the suits cost a lot of money, and ink doesn't really come out, so that makes me a little nervous. Yeah, and dry cleaning suits cost a lot. Agreed. Which, I mean, I'll have to get it dry cleaned anyways after dancing in it. So regardless, taking a class tomorrow, I'll have to get it cleaned. But, whoa, control yourself. There we go. Exercising in calming myself down today when I'm writing. Trying to slow down ever so slightly. But it's not slowing down the whole movement, it's just slowing down the parts where I tend to whip. True, Uline they sell protectors, but if I get a bad nib snap, it's going everywhere. There's no controlling where that's gonna splash. I've gotten ink on all kinds of clothes. Not a lot, but a little bit. I'm usually a pretty clean calligrapher, I would say, on average, compared to a lot of calligraphers and penmen. I don't make a lot of mess, but the risk factor is there. A suit bib. get a suit bib. I could use a suit bib. Suits are also not the most comfortable to ride in because they're restrictive. I mean, depending on how tight the vest is, I guess. I do need a dancing. I mean, I have suits that I've danced in before. They just require cleaning afterwards. And then, I mean, most of the times when I've danced in suits there, I'm on set for things. So it's wardrobe suits, not my own suits. But for me, pretty much anything I'm wearing can become a dance suit or a dance outfit, depending on where I am and what kind of cool music is playing. Yeah, I've seen some of the the stretch shirts for buff people. I'm not buff enough, but they do they work for stretching for me when I'm moving and stuff. Yeah, I just need to get buff to fill them out. I'm not one of the bodybuilding penmen like John DeColobis or Jake Weidman. I'm a little too on the lazy side, unfortunately. Okay, shall we give this letter a shot? Or do I want to keep just warming up and filling this paper? Having kind of a decent warm-up session today. How's it going, Marilyn? Oh, we were talking about suits. And different suits and fancy clothes and things like that. Because I'm debating wearing a suit to a dance class tomorrow, just for no reason at all, just for fun. I have a purple and gray plaid suit. Plaid-ish, it's kind of plaid. That I've never worn. Maybe I'll try that on and see if that will fit for a dance class. I don't think I've never worn it. Ooh. I need to get a pinstripe suit. I don't have one, or suit. I don't have one of those yet. One day. Uh-oh. Choppy Wi-Fi for Ojaswini. It's interesting right now. The time zones around the world are different. Because, like, here in Vancouver, we changed. We had our daylight savings time and everything, but not everywhere has changed yet. So I gotta double check all the times when I do things with people internationally, because it's different than normal right now. For a couple more weeks, I think, until everybody's on the same page. That's a nice exit oval right there. Oh, I was out of frame. Sorry. Purple gang. Yeah, it's like I got it last time I was in Hong Kong. I got two suits from like a cheap suit maker there, not the normal one that I go to. But I got weird, like interesting, sort of really unique colors, and I got them home, and I don't know if I like them or not yet, which is ridiculous because I spent money on them. But I picked the swatches, and I'm not sure if I like them. I'll have to see. The verdict is still out. The one is like an interesting, like it's an interesting brownish color, but it's not brown. It's like a stone dark. But I was experimenting. What I really want to do, the suit maker that made my favorite suit, I want to design some fabric, some penmanship fabric, and get it printed on like a silk type of material, and then have them make me a suit. I don't know what the outside's gonna look like yet, but then the liner and the vest and everything would be made out of the fabric that I design, and a bow tie and stuff to match. That would be really cool. So that's on the to-do list whenever I get around to it. Now that I've said it, I feel like I kind of have to do it tomorrow. I don't really have a choice. Alright, I'm getting a lot of skipping, and I'm assuming that's the paper. But I gotta see if, or I'm really hoping, that it doesn't do that when I write when I try to write the letter. I mean, it does. Not a big deal, but... I'm guessing it's because I was using this paper without a glide sheet earlier. But yeah, like every exit stroke now. I feel you, Nan. I feel you. Although, like for Canada, for example, if you live somewhere that has like winter, and your day is so few hours of sunlight, daylight savings time can really make a difference to the number of hours you get in your daytime hours. Because things can get really unfortunately balanced without daylight savings time. Like when I used to be a summer camp counselor for kids, I used to or not I, the camp, we used to go to what we called camp time, where it was similar to like a daylight savings time, but we would take the camp for that week and just put it like slightly ahead or back. I can't remember which way it was, but it was so the kids, so like when they could have campfires and stuff, it was later than it normally would be, so that it was actually dark and things like that when they went to bed. It just felt more like camp should feel, because Canada in the summer, the opposite of the winter, it's super bright out. In Alberta, where I grew up, at like 10 p.m., 11 p.m., it'll still be super, almost daylight outside some days. So that's not really great for trying to get kids to go to sleep at a camp. A lot of my exit ovals are getting cut off actually, which is interesting. It could be the lotion oozing out of my hand. I'm using a glide sheet now, but I wasn't earlier. But again, I'm not wearing lotion today. I have natural lotiony skin. Okay. What's the first capital on this letter? C and then that O. Right. Let me make sure I could do a C and an O. Every time I try to replicate this letter, because I do it quite often, or every now and again I'll take a swing at it, and I get to like the second line, and that's about as far as my replication goes. I think I've only ever written the whole letter a couple times. Well, I know I did this, but it doesn't count. You guys have seen this before, because I did this live. The gold foiled one. Madara's letter in gold foil, but that doesn't count, because I didn't write that. I basically traced it with a foiling pen, which is not the same thing. But yeah, I usually get to, if I get the date right, then it's a win. And then if I get past the Friends of Penmanship, it's a win. And then it's usually one or two capitals into the letter that that kill me, and I lose it. I feel like this nib has a little like burr on it that catches the paper towel every time I clean it. It's quite annoying. I should sand it up. It's inside the breather hole. Hello, everybody. Oh ho ho. My mom is so clever. Forgot I made tea. All right, a couple more lines, and then we'll give it a shot. My hand seems to be in a relatively good mood today, so that's good. As long as my paper and nib cooperate. Oh, see, that's what happens. If the paper doesn't cooperate and I go to make that O, I did it again. There we go. Again, it did it. I don't know why it does that. Sometimes that's the ink, and a lot of times that's the paper. Today, I'm pretty sure that's the paper, because I was doing it earlier, and it was fine, but... There we go. I always get this, like, flat spot right there that I don't like. It doesn't have a nice curve to my taper. Yeah, you see that? Happens a lot. You think that's where I got it from, Mom? Maybe that's where I got it from. It's quite possible. Come on. Ah! See, it's doing it on every stroke now. Well, it'll do a hairline, but it won't let me go straight into that shade. Why? I'm gonna hope that there's just some lotion on that part of the paper. Maybe. Because if that happens during the real letter, I'm in trouble. That's frustrating. Yeah, there's something on the paper there. I'm just gonna go to a new sheet of paper now and start writing the letter and see what happens. Probably take a few stabs at this. I'll write the letter until I mess up, and then that page will turn into a warm-up page and a practice page for the next attempt. I think. Sounds like a good plan. Get my neighbor all cleaned up and ready. Okay. Oh, check this out. This isn't the piece of paper I'm going to be writing on, but look at this. So, I don't know if the shadows will show. Oh, there's not really any shadows. Shoot. I have too many lights. I was going to show, I was carving signature or sign writer script the other day. I did some paper and it looked really cool. But it doesn't show up, so sorry, you can't see it. No nursery stories, not today. I did 2 days of the nursery rhyme, Little Red Riding Hood, and then poetry, and it was a lot of work. I'll probably do it again, but I'm gonna take a break before I do another nursery rhyme one, because that was writing in a bound book, which was a little stressful, and then also just very time consuming for a live video, so no nursery rhyme today. Okay, so here's the letter we're trying to accomplish. I'm going to be writing it, I think, a little bit smaller than he wrote it, just because of the line spacing on this specific paper, but yeah, we're just going to go for it and see if we can do it. Basically, I'm not really worried about the space to the edge of the paper all that much right now. First stroke of the whole thing, and we got a ghost hairline. That's not performance. Not the best C, but the hardest part about this letter is how tightly everything is spaced. Like, you can already see how much longer my Columbus is than his, and I'm supposed to be writing smaller than him. Which is... I don't understand. This is always the letter that I tell people to study when they want to do correspondence writing or fit more words in a line. This letter is like a magic. It doesn't look like it's tightly spaced, but when you try to do it, it's insanely tightly spaced. I was worried that was going to happen. The shade just didn't happen. So now, I mean, this letter is obviously not a good attempt at it, which sucks. But he wrote so small in this letter, wow. Okay, here's stroke number 2 that kind of messes up. Alright, good night, Mom. Sleep well. Thanks for popping in. We're not perfect so far, but we're not that far off. It's alright. Call this a first pass. Now, does he use the same amount of space? No, there's one extra space in there. Now, this F is probably one of the most important, the most popular part of this letter is this part, the Friends of Penmanship. Everybody loves that part. Sorry that I can't get everything in frame while we're writing, but what's going on? Is it my ink? Yeah, our writing's not going to be the same size as his, but that's all right. Too much talking, too much preparing. Gotta go for it. My shade isn't as good as his is. I was timid. Friends of. Drop this down to the next baseline, but it's the same height, almost. Oh, why does my nib keep stopping from writing? Okay, we're gonna start having to dip a little bit in water. No, that didn't even work. What's going on? Silly issue to be having. Messed up that H. See, on like a normal day, this would be, I would stop here and then start again, because this isn't good enough yet, and it's still too stretched out. But I'm gonna keep going. For the sake of keeping going today, yep. Or maybe it's a colon. The bottom one looks like it's a little bit longer than the top one. Well, it's not a comma. There's definitely another dot there in the original. Oh, we're going downhill, folks. We're gonna have to stop. And I've already run out of space. Lame. Okay, now we're gonna work on those little things that I did wrong and try to fix them, and then we'll start again. So we're gonna start friends. A little bit closer to this side of the letter, probably like there. How high does that go? Pretty high. That's more of what we want. Do you mean the interlinear spacing? Is that like the vertical spacing? This paper is lined, or the lines are less, or they're smaller ruled than what he used, but it's similar sort of to this example. I think the original was bigger than this one as well, but because I'm using this lined paper, I'm using this double lined, which I should be able to get about the same size writing as what's on this example here. Should be able to. It's the main point there. Let's see if I can't get my C looking a little nicer too. Oh, definitely. The word spacing is much more condensed. His letter spacing and his word spacing in this letter are very, very tight. Much tighter than what I'm doing. It's something that I'm not in the habit of doing, which is part of the reason why I want to write this letter. Because I want to try to get it like he did, because it doesn't look squished. That's to my eye anyways. It's obviously more squished than a standard ornamental penmanship, or especially a standard Spencerian, but it doesn't look squished to me. Sorry that I forgot what interlinear spacing meant for a moment. Here we go. Why couldn't I just do the O like that the first time? Yeah, there's a bunch of good ones in a row, but I can't seem to do it when it counts. There we go. Nope. Yeah, we just have to relax. Just relax. Okay, that's better. What's going on, Moose? Well, I guess we'll take swing number 2. This one we'll try again. Now that we're warmed up for those parts. X height wise, I usually write it, I guess it's about, I think standard for me is at about 2 millimeters. Wait, let me measure. Some random Oh! I just dripped my ruler in my tea by accident. Okay, whoops. Now it's a green tea ruler. Okay. How big? I think like 2 millimeters. Oh, so my regular writing I was doing earlier today is 2 millimeters, and in some spots just slightly under 2 millimeters. So that's how I write naturally when I'm just scribbling, when I'm just writing. This writing we're doing today is at about 1.5. I rarely write larger than 3 millimeters, I'm pretty sure. I would say. Yeah, like 3 millimeters feels huge. I think when I did the Little Red Riding Hood and the poems the week after that, that was probably around the 3 millimeter mark. That was much larger than how I normally write, I think. Sure you do. Everybody can see that small. I feel like I'm just going to end up wasting a ton of paper today. Not really a fan of that idea. But if I have to keep restarting this letter, that's the only way. 5 millimeters pretty big. I mean, I teach Spencerian at, when we first learned lowercase, what, like 5/16 of an inch? How much is that in millimeters? Give me a second, my ruler's backwards here. Like, no, 3/16 I think is the size I teach Spencerian at, which is about, that's 5 millimeters. But that's what, yeah, so, yeah, 5 millimeters. That's what I teach the fundamentals at when we're learning the forms. And then when we start writing them more, when we get into letter spacing and things like that, I usually go down to 3 millimeters is 1/8 of an inch. And then that's more of a standard writing size. But yeah, the reason a lot of teachers, like Martha, myself, we teach them larger is because then you can see and recognize everything. It's teachers, and I was told this when I first started learning Spencerian, because a lot of students who want their writing to look really cool, like for me, for example, when I got started, I wanted to write smaller. We always want to write, and just me in general, I do things quite small. So I always want to write smaller, but like Michael Saul and Harvest in their classes would tell me, write bigger, because you're hiding, like you're potentially hiding mistakes, and you have to write bigger to show your understanding and knowledge of the forms. And then when you understand those and you squish those, then it is maintained in the lowercase. But a lot of people just like to write smaller because it looks better. Okay. give my ink a stir too, actually. It's been sitting for a little while. I need to get a better electric stirrer here one of these days. I mean, this ink isn't super thick. I could use it with my electric stirrer. I just haven't used it in a long time. Now, a part of me wants to cheat my lowercase letters here, my lowercase ascenders a little bit. I'm going to rotate my body, which is not something I usually teach or recommend. Oh, that's not how you spell Columbus. I already messed up. Nope. Off to a bad start already. Well, we'll keep going anyways. I wanted to rotate my body to utilize hinge movement a little bit without rotating my paper. Because my arm isn't good at writing my ascenders at my regular writing slant for capitals. Unfortunately. No good. One and a half is extremely small. Other hurdles you run into with writing at 1.5 is it's hard to keep your hairline clean. You have to have a really, really fine pen. Okay, not perfect, but it's alright. We'll move on. To this F. Timid shades again. Friends of... Do you mean bothering you when I do it, or bothering you when you do it? Like this, you mean? Yeah. Why am I writing so close to myself right now? Get away. Ah! I bubbled out that shade. Bummer. The curling of the paper thing can be, it's one of those things where you just kind of have to ignore it. I know some people will bring it down below the table. I don't like doing that because when you bring it below, it ends up bubbling up this part. Whereas when you bring it up, it pushes this part sort of down into the table. And that, I like that more. But I know that does bug a lot of people. I've gotten used to it now, so it doesn't bug me all that much. So long as it's not affecting my movement. I've gotten used to it being just against my body. A little too narrow on that exit oval, but it's okay. This is one, between the S and the C, he has a larger space than I would expect, actually, which is interesting. Because his S doesn't have an exit stroke, and his C doesn't have an entrance stroke, so there's just a long space there. It was an interesting choice. This is usually where I start not caring as much because I've messed up so many times that it doesn't matter as much to me. I keep messing up my ascended loops, which is really frustrating. One day, I will unlock the secret to doing those good the way I want to. Okay, first line, decent. So far, so good. We got the spacing right. We fit it all. So that's good. I'm gonna turn my paper this way, actually. There we go. Okay, moving on to this journal. Oh, don't start being problematic now. I wish I could do ascended loops like that every time. That's an interesting stroke for me too. He finishes this L with an overturn instead of an underturn exit stroke. That always throws me for a loop. It's a transition I'm not used to. Oh, I'm writing a little bit too big, I think. Oh, lost my hairline. Oh, this was another overturn. Whoops. Too late now. Gotta pay attention to that. No, I didn't feel like practicing this week's Sling and Sunday signature tonight. I'll figure out how to do it tomorrow, or maybe later on. I wasn't in a signature mood tonight. Which is rare. I'm usually in a signature mood. Shoot, I wrote too big. Just a little bit. Threw you for a loop. Sorry. So we made it fit, but you can see if you look at that whole line, I don't know if you can see on video, that we're larger and we're more open spaced over here or more condensed spaced on this side. Whoops. Oh, I just realized that was Diego that said that. What up, Diego? Welcome. I mean, that signature is super loopy. I'm excited to do it. I just didn't feel like doing it today. Right now. For reasons unknown. Go in camera. There we go. Sorry, I'm not talking a lot right now. Concentrating. I think I'm again writing a little bit too big, but not a lot too big. Penmanship. I love how high Blozer brought the entry stroke of his P. Super high. Ooh, first mango of the season. That sounds delicious. He also ended on his T's. He like curled them. They didn't start with it going up and over to the left. They went like to the right or to the left and then over to the right. They were very curled on the left hand side, which is weird for me. I don't do them that way. Takes some getting used to. Alright, so far so good. Line 3, pretty decent. Well spaced, I think. Whew. Hey Gloria, how's it going? Alright, I'm gonna clean my nib. Take a quick breather. So far, so good. Not perfect. Well, we haven't done any capital letters in a while. So. Like I said, if anybody wasn't here when I mentioned it before, if you want to practice or if you want a specimen to study for like correspondence or page writing, a lot of people say with ornamental penmanship and Spencerian, you can't fit very much on the page, and that's true. It takes up a lot of horizontal space. But if you study this letter, if you study this letter by Bloser, the famous Mataraz letter, it doesn't look squished, but he fits so much in there. Granted, he also writes really small, but even if you made his excite larger, it's his letter spacing and word spacing, interlinear writing is much, or his spacing is much more narrow. Do I think Mataraz took breaks? I think so. I think when they get really comfortable, and they're in like a writing flow, I don't think they would take that many breaks. Like when I'll say when I'm not doing a live video, I wouldn't have taken a break here, but because I'm live and I have tea and whatnot, I will take little breaks here and there. But I think they would just write in. It's my guess. I don't actually know, but I'm assuming they would just go for it. If you mean like small breaks between letters and stuff, they all, and I think Mataraz lifted a lot more than some people think he did. But again, we don't know that. But I think they would maybe take breaks, but probably not that many, because you just get into the flow, and I think they just write. Because there's a good chance that, Mataraz wasn't doing late night live YouTube stream. He was working, so he had to get the letter done, the receipt done, the blah blah blah, fill the ledger, do the stuff, and the faster he could get through it, I would assume, the quicker he was done work. So they would just sort of go, I think. But that's just a guess. I don't actually know at all. This is looking pretty decent so far. Well, yeah, a lot of the teachers back then, they would write, they would do copybooks by hand to each student. They would, before a lot of them got their stuff printed, they would write, like that's what Spencer did. They would do like slips, similar to, this isn't a handwritten slip, but they did like little bundles similar to this of little slips of things for their students to practice, like one at a time. This is printed. This was like an actual published series of lessons, but they would do a lot of handwritten things like that. Who was your favorite penman? That's a really hard question. I have different favorites for different reasons. Creatively, I'm pretty sure H.P. Bairnsmeyer was my favorite penman. His work isn't always the cleanest. It's extremely clean, cleaner than anybody that's alive today. But if we're comparing him to other people like Lupfer and Zahner and those guys, his work wasn't always as refined. He had refined work out there. But what I liked about his work, or what I like about his work, is it's creative. He would do things that when I see them in signatures, it feels like something that I would naturally just flow out of my hand. I've created letters and stuff before out of nowhere that I just think are cool ideas. And then some of those similar concepts I see in Bairnsmeyer's work. So I think creatively, I'm pretty sure Bairnsmeyer's my favorite. When it comes to execution and writing, pretty sure E.W. Bloser, who wrote this letter, or Lupfer, is tough. A lot of examples of Lupfer's work that we see out there have been engraved, so it's hard to know if he was always that precise, but pretty sure Blozer, I would say Blozer is probably my favorite execution penman. And then recently I've been really interested in, is it HB Lemon, Lehman? He had a really fine hand, and I recently read something in an article, I don't remember where, about his flange angle. He apparently wrote with a flange that was at a steeper angle than some other penmen, and I don't know what the specific reason for that was, but I write with a very extreme flange angle too. And when I see HB Lemon's work, he uses a variety of different weights of shades, which I really like. If you look at a piece of his writing, all the shades match really, really well. Like he'll do really heavily shaded pieces where all the shades are really heavy and it matches. But then some of his favorite stuff or my favorite stuff of his, is he'll have light shaded, but all the shading on the page is the same amount of lightly shaded, so it looks a little more just lighter and airier, and it still matches beautifully. And then design-wise, I feel like he must have trained under Berensmeyer or was inspired by Berensmeyer, or came before Berensmeyer and that's where Berensmeyer got it. I have to research the cities they lived in and the dates they were prevalent to actually figure out who trained from who, because I don't actually know. But I'm pretty sure HB Lemon was, in my head he was younger, but that could be wrong. But I see a lot of his stuff that looks like, oh, that looks like something Berensmeyer would have done. So that also, because of how much I like Berensmeyer, really made me like Lemon's work. Sorry, long answer to that question. But favorite penman is a really tough question, because I like a lot of them for a lot of different reasons. Oh, ink's thinning out a little bit. Let's stir it. The crazy thing is, I could, if you named every penman whose name we know, I could give you a reason for that penman to be my favorite. Like, I've studied a lot of their work extensively, and I like all of their work for sort of different reasons. Because they were all slightly different, which is cool. Yeah, it would be kind of weird if somebody asked and I just had just a simple, just one, bam. But I mean, a lot of people, like, the go-to is Madaras. Like, when people, who's your favorite penman? Most people say Madaras. Madaras wasn't my favorite. I'm not usually drawn to his work very much. I mean, obviously not devaluing or saying anything bad about it. There's nothing bad about his work. And it's super creative, and he was a genius penman. But, I don't know, his work it doesn't intrigue me as much as some of the other penmen out there who potentially, like, lesser in the popularity realm. Madaras is definitely the most popular penman out there, for sure. Uh-oh, capital letter. Oh no, and it has to come after those F's, which means we did the chewer way too far to the left. Shoot, that's a mess up. I didn't even notice. I should have looked ahead and caught that. Bummer. Oh well, too late now. Oh, not a very good E. So here's another place where I would stop and restart. Normally, I'm gonna keep going though. But that would be a spot because this space is too long here and that E is just not a very good E. I'm not sure I believe you, Diego, but thank you very much. I mean, so many of the what was cool about, I mean, most of the penmen that we know is they all had different. They were all good at different things. Like Kanan is probably another one of my favorites. His forms were round. He had a way of writing that was not based as much, his flourishing anyways, and his letter forms too, but a lot of his flourishing and entry and exit ovals were based on more circular forms than ovoid, like an oval. They were still ovals, but just not as oval as the average penman, I would say. So his work was super iconic, standing out wise. You can tell a piece of his really easily when he was using his iconic style. Another cool thing about those penmen is all of them could do basically all styles, which was cool. They could all pretty much emulate each other almost flawlessly, which is what made them, I think, so incredible. What? Like Kanan C's? They're basically circles. His book is incredible. Okay. Bummed that I messed up that E so bad. Oh well. Now, one of the harder letters of this letter is this capital I. This one right here, double looped. That's a challenge. Oh no! That's a bad cat. Okay, the indent goes after the E, so we gotta start like right here. Right on that side of the G. Okay. Yeah, that cat would be a lot of trouble if it was in my house. Not terrible. But not amazing either. Ooh, this is the one eye that he forgot to dot. Or that when they photo engraved it, they took it out of the engraving. It didn't work on the plate. Oh, sorry. Offside. It is eminently fitting. Yep, that's my pet back there, my pylon. Why did that happen? Sorry, I think I was frozen there for a moment. My computer just told me that my broadcasting software disconnected and now reconnected. My apologies. Uh-oh, running out of space on this one. Made it. Oh, good night, Lori. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. I should also note that this letter, though was always printed white on black, it was definitely not written white on black. So if you wanted to rewrite this letter authentically and get the hairlines as good as his were, don't do it in white ink. Okay. Oh, thanks a lot, Matt. Welcome to the channel. I will start posting real videos, hopefully soon. I should be filming one tomorrow or the next day. I haven't posted an actual YouTube video that wasn't just a live stream in a very long time. So hopefully I will start doing that again. kind of got out of the habit when I left LA and then was moving and everything was crazy, and I never got back in the habit of doing it again. So I'm hoping to get back on that wagon. Okay. Ooh, I wrote that offhand really, really big. Shh, Diego, don't tell anybody. I have a haircut now, so maybe I'll film a video because I have a haircut. Hey, Fozzie, I was just about to ask. I wonder where Fozzie is. Ooh, baking, that's fun. Gloria, we started normal time, my time, but because daylight savings time hasn't changed everywhere in the world yet, for a lot of people it will be earlier than normal, yeah. I know it's messed up a lot of people's clocks. I think it's for 1 or 2 more weeks until everything gets back to like normal-ish. I think. It's interesting that Blozer doesn't always use the ending R, like in this example right here. Everybody just assumed we were going to do signatures today. No, I wasn't in a signature mood. I mean, I'll have to do a signature at the bottom of this letter, but I was in a sort of lowercase type of mood today, which is rare, so I figured I better take advantage of it. He also doesn't use the ending D all the time, which is interesting. Ooh. See, Fozzie, it's not even just me that... See, I've been helping you. I've been prepping you with all the E's in the signature so that you're ready for this next monogram E you have to design. Right? Does that work? I'm always curious why he did this interesting Q like G descender on language. It really seems like an interesting choice. I guess it's so he doesn't have two matching Gs, but it's curious. Inimitable. Jeez. There's a lot of words I don't use in here. Ooh, that was an ugly T cross. Whoops. Yep. The famous E.W. Blozer, or the E.W. Blozer famous motorized letter. Thought by some to be best page writing or correspondence writing ever. It's my favorite letter. Not the best executed letter in the world. There's actually quite a few inaccuracies or mistakes on it, which I like because it shows that Blozer was human. Oops, this line was a little too long. Just a touch. Oh, bye Diego. I don't know if you're still here anymore. I didn't see you say your farewells. Thanks for stopping by. I am not very good at keeping an eye on the chat today. My apologies. This writing is tiny. Sounds good, Fuzzy. Oh! Ruined it. That's an ugly shade. Crap. Bummer. I might have to go and retouch that and fix it. Shoot! Wow, that's a really ugly shade. Oops, oops, oops. We're gonna fix the shape of it a little bit if we can. It's a little better, still not great, but I don't usually like to do that. When I send letters to people, I don't retouch them. Usually, like, my writing and what I send out is how it came out of my pen, mistakes and all. I only rewrite a letter if I, like, made, like, a really, really stupid spelling mistake, or it's, like, an epic mistake where something is just super, super bad. But I usually try to have what I put out there to people, like, because I write letters every time somebody orders a blotter or something, or when I write letters to people, which I haven't done correspondence in a while, but I gotta get back into. It is an accurate representation of my penmanship on that day. Not of my best penmanship by any stretch of the imagination, but how I'm writing on that specific day. Mistakes and all. It's one of the perks, Fozzie, of having a calligrapher for a mom when you're a kid. It's like having a scrapbooker for a mom. You got all the crafty paper supplies you could ever need for anything. Oh, I did the wrong exit stroke on that L again. That's fun. Paper rocks. There you go, Marilyn. Creativity brought to you by sneezing. Oh, I messed up a little bit. That line was a little bit too long. I'm getting too casual. Oh well, close enough. X height, yeah, this one is about 1.5 millimeters. I lost my hairline on that upstroke. Ugh. Whoops. Watch for the 11 pages. Oh, we're almost done. I'm not writing it quite as condensed as he was, but I'm writing it the right amount of condensed for this page, I think. Or close anyways. Stir the ink. Okay. We're starting under the WI. Okay. Not the best W. My capitals aren't the best for this letter so far. Lots of silly little mistakes, but that's okay. I won't be too hard on myself today. Okay, now the signature. Crap. This is the scary part. This is like signing a certificate after it's all done. The most pressure at the very end. But I need to do this on a separate piece of paper a couple times. Just to see if I can even write this signature this way. It's not super complicated, and it's a B that I'm relatively familiar with, so that's okay. We just really want it to look passable so that we don't ruin the whole letter. Oh, and that has to go all the way around here. Ooh, I might have to do that whole arm. Yikes. That's also way too big. Okay. Or maybe I'll stop on the shade today. I don't usually do this, but maybe I'll do the shade and lift after it. Yeah, I'll do that today. Come on. That was a really smooth entry. That would have been a good one. All's well that ends well. Yeah, we don't know if it'll end well yet. That's a good one. Okay. Okay, now this B. I can do this B, no problem. It is a tough one, but I can do it. Ugly step. Oh, he keeps that going all the way to there. Okay. Don't forget to shade the B, Mike. Oh, don't worry, I always have wishful and positive thinking when I'm writing. It's getting that turn a little smoother. There's the one. That was a good one. Okay. The ending stroke, I'm probably gonna have to draw in because I know that stroke I don't have the ability to do. Yeah, I can't do this exit stroke, I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna do it and then have to retouch the shade for sure. Shoot, yeah, I can't let that happen. I might have to do it all in hairline actually. I've never been able to do this stroke. Do it like that, then I can draw the shade in, which I'm fine with. I don't mind cheating on that last stroke, because if I try to do it all for real, I will mess it up. I haven't once done that stroke properly. What's going on? Okay. Yeah, and then I'll just have to draw the shade. Yep, that's what's happening. The bottom half, it's kind of middle-ish. The bottom is a little bit bigger. So we can fit that extra spiral on the inside, but not a whole lot bigger. I gotta make sure I go to hairline a little sooner. And he drops a little more vertical, actually. Well, let's go for it, see what happens. The rest of the letter isn't perfect, so pressure isn't all that high. What up, Mohammed? I was gonna say you're a little later than normal, but I'm assuming that's because of the time change. I would guess. Okay, let's do this here. Let's sign this letter, shall we? Okay, so we have to start under the G-ish. I'm gonna start a little bit farther to the left. So many spaces. He leaves more space before his signature than the rest of his lines. So regular capitals are a half an inch. This is an inch and an eighth. Okay. Or 5/8. Okay. So spacing. 4 full lines on this paper. Okay. So what does that mean space-wise? 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to start down here. Don't overthink it, Mike. Just go for it. No! Why did the paper do that? That is so frustrating, because that straight up wasn't my fault. And now, that's the ugliest shade on this entire page. Oh man, that really sucks. That's frustrating. Literally, that's the most frustrating issue. And it's one of the issues that happens quite a bit. Unfortunately. I don't know, man. This isn't the best paper. I want to like it. Like I said, the gray is much better than the black, but this happens on this paper more than any other paper. Again, this is something I don't usually like doing. But that was just really bad. So frustrating. It's not really a huge deal, it's just frustrating. That's good enough. That letter just will look a little janky, but that's okay. I mean, the number of times that that's happened in practice on this paper, even just today, it's only a matter of time before it happened at a crucial moment. Okay, now, paper, don't do that again. Please. And nib, let's everybody just play nice, okay? Another ugly shade. That one was my fault, though. Blech. No good. Choked when it counted most. It also could be my nib, but I'm pretty sure it's the paper. Horrible exit stroke that I will draw the shades into because I don't have the confidence to do it right now. Cheating! I'm guessing he would have turned the paper for this stroke. Maybe? Probably wouldn't have had to, but... Ugh. Even my hairline was just a crappy shape. That was not a good... No good. Ladies and gentlemen, no good. Bleh. Oh well, that's that. That's the whole letter. Oh, excuse me. Maybe that's why those were bad. There was a sneeze hiding in there. No. Zoom out so you guys can see the whole thing. All in all, I'm not mad at it. Is it amazing? No. Is it terrible? No. It's not terrible. It's decent. Oh. Whoops. Excuse me. Duh. That's just... I even did it in hairline. Why did I... Terrible shape. Silly. Now I want to write it again, but I'm not going to because it's too time consuming. Yeah, from afar, yeah. All penmanship always looks good from far away. Flourishing and things. That's alright. I will have to try it again. Vic, why couldn't you just done that the first time? That didn't seem that difficult. Ooh, I have to write the and. I forgot about that. Like, that's what it should have been. I forgot about this little and I have to write in the other one. Let me do that before I forget. Oh, that's such a bummer, but I'm pretty sure this is, I mean, there's a lot of mistakes in here, but I don't think I've written this entire letter more than like once or twice, to be honest. If I've even written the whole thing once, I'm not even sure. I must have done it at least once, but I rarely write the entire thing. So, all in all, glad I did it. Here we go. Zaner and Closer. The shade is too far from the Zaner as well, but that's alright. Yeah, I feel like to do that shade, this is something I haven't practiced, because I don't do a lot of this style of flourishing. I feel like I would have to turn my page. Just go hairline first. Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure I'd have to turn my page that much. Sorry, I know I'm way off of angle for the camera now, but that's still not in the right place. Better. Such a weird shade. But I don't think I can do it at writing angle. Because it goes up, it goes the exact, I mean, I could hold my hand this way and maybe do it. So I could rotate my pen this way. Let's try that. Oh, I could maybe do it that way. Whoa. Feels weird to hold the pen this way though, but booyah, that's what we need. Is that how we did that? Because that one's pretty much spot on. That must be how he did it. I mean, there's a ton of ways he could have done it, but that makes the most sense to me. Because rotating the paper is good. But one thing I notice when I can tell when people rotate the paper a lot. See, but the problem, Mehmet, is when you rotate the paper, because I flourish on horizontal ovals, right? So I have this horizontal oval for my compound curve and this one and the little exit one that's coming out. When you rotate your paper, your muscles aren't doing those ovals on the angle that they're used to doing them. And you can usually tell, I mean, in modern penman, or when I see people who rotate their paper, I can tell. You don't notice it in bird flourishing and stuff because it's all organic and whatnot. But when you see it with other horizontal flourishes, you can totally tell, or I can totally tell. So I know for myself, like even when I turned the paper and did like these 3 examples, the angle of my exit oval that's not shaded just doesn't look right, and the compound curve just doesn't look right. Whereas if I can get it by rotating my hand, then my arm is making the movements that it knows how to make and that are already habitual. So I don't think they turned the paper as, and this is I think contrary to popular belief, and this is probably an unpopular opinion. I think bird flourishing, I think they turn the paper a lot, but I don't think they turn the paper nearly as much as people think they did for these things. I mean, lots of people can cut that. There's people that can cut the shade without rotating the paper, like without rotating the pen or anything. And I'm not saying that it's impossible to do when you rotate your paper, but that's, if I can do, like the best one that I have on my page right now, and I've only done like 8 of them, is this one, and it's not rotated. So that shows me that I can do it not rotated just by holding my pen a little different, which is the only difference between going from this grip to this grip. It's a very slight difference in my hand, and my arm can already do what it wants to do. I don't have to train whole other muscles. Again, not to say that you can't. I'm not necessarily right. Nothing I ever say is necessarily the way it was or the way it should be. Just like rotating the paper for ascended ovals, for ascended loops, I don't like to do it, but if you want to have clean ascended loops, that's the best way. And people always tell me, well, rotate your paper. But I don't want to rotate my paper every time I have to do a stroke or do something fancy. When I can train myself to be able to do it. Is it harder? Yeah. But in this instance, I feel like it's not harder. I feel like it's easier for me to just rotate the pen in my hand and then do... Yeah, that just feels natural. And my ovals, my compound curve looks exactly the way it's supposed to. I saw that. You know that I don't like all the super analysis. It turns me off. It's not my jam. You know that already. They're great diagrams and examples and stuff, but I know exactly what I need to know to do it. But adding math and all that stuff to the mix, I want nothing to do with it pretty much, because it takes me out of what I like about penmanship. And I can do perfect ascended loops sometimes, just not all the time. So I just have to, I don't train them also. So they're not something I practice. And if I did, they would get better, and one day I will, when I feel like it. Whoa, whoops. Well, maybe I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna stay on it too much longer, but I'm gonna try this week's signature a few times. Since I haven't really tried it yet, give it a shot. I don't even have it printed out. I gotta look on my phone. Instagram. Oh no, I can find it in my gallery. Instagram. Where is it? There you are. EJ Sullivan. That's a crazy signature. Okay, there's what I'm doing. If anybody hasn't seen it, it looks like it would be a fun one. Let's just wing it and see what happens here. Oh, I should use a glide sheet of some kind. It's a pretty loopy one, that's for sure. All right. No, yeah. Oh, that's not a... That has to dip down first. I feel like if you can get used to the large horizontal loops on this one, it will feel comfortable. I say that, I don't know if that's true because, like I said, I haven't done it yet. Gotta come into that little oval from below. We can't make it flat. Oh, here, Fozzie, I'll show it to you. I super messed up the ending signature. Unfortunately. I messed it all up, but from afar away, it looks good. But from close up, I messed it up. But I'll post that in my stories later, I think. Even with the mess up. So people can see what we did. Now I'm just trying this one a couple times before I cut it off tonight. I am tired today. These should be the same height. Interesting. Okay. That looks horrible, but that's how I figure things out. Map it through first. Come on. I gotta figure out if that's this issue with this paper, because if it is, I gotta stop using this paper. It's way too frustrating when that happens. Out of nowhere. Unexpected. Whoops. Okay. What up, Jesus? The S, I've actually really started liking, even like without all the rest of the signature. This S, even just coming from a standard entry, is a really cool, it's a really cool letter. I've never done the S that way with this, with the entry. I've never done it that way before. And it's cool. I am losing every hairline today. That's frustrating. Yep, no hat, no bow tie. Changing it up, throwing you guys for a loop. Yeah, it's a cool S. I'm quite a fan of it. It caught my eye when I first saw this signature, but after looking at it even more and then writing it a couple times, it's a cool one. I haven't been able to make it work in this signature yet, but that's the idea. Yep, today's a chill day. Gray shirt, just t-shirt and jeans, short hair, chill. Okay, this S has to drop way lower, because it's supposed to go lower than the E. I'm also bringing this way too far. Let's keep that smaller. Can do. It reminds me of Kanan a little bit. That little bounce oval flourish. Well, that is a very ugly E, but we gotta get the flow from that O to the E. I mean, I just have to swap my jeans for sweatpants, but my jeans are comfy. They're as comfy as sweatpants. I have one friend who calls me crazy if I wear jeans all day long, if I'm not chilling at home in sweatpants, but I like chilling in jeans. They're comfortable. Come on. That's closer. We're making this drop too low, I think. It should drop to about like here. That E is going too low. You have a pretty good excuse, I would say, Fozzie, though. Also, you live in the Philippines. It's hot. Come on. Look, I keep this little thing I'm making too big. It messes my E up. My brain starts to think that it's the first loop of the E and then it doesn't want to do the shade. Also, I feel like the E's from last week are coming into play where the shades were in different places than standard, messing with our brains. Yeah, that's the idea. So this is a ticket to keeping the E close together. It's coming out of there. Okay. I wonder if he stopped there. He might have. He very well might have stopped. Wow, why can't I do a capital O? No, don't bring that over yet. That's better. Okay. Nice. That's awesome. How high do those little loops need to be? Do you mean, oh, these little top ones on top of the O? I mean, they're the same height as the S. So I feel like if this is our baseline, and I mean, if this is where I'm starting the O, I would say the S and those little loops are about just above that. I mean, the second one, the E, is slightly higher than that, but just barely. They're pretty much the same. So you either shrink the O or you extend the E and the S. Yeah, because if you look at from where the O starts, we come in here, we only go a little bit higher than the O into this little bump. And then from there, we start into the E. And then we hit this E around the middle point. And this cuts up, coming up. To go up here, slightly higher. This cuts through the middle of that to drop lower. Sort of like that would be if I did it slow, that's the spacing. Which is pretty decent for a first slow attempt like that. Spacing wise, I think I dropped the E a little bit too low, which made me have to drop the S a little bit too low as well. And the J, and this should be parallel, but we'll get there. That was close. Except, see, when I do it with movement, my E, this oval ends up being way lower than this oval. And technically the S should be below the E. Otherwise you don't have the right trajectory to hit the J the way it's supposed to. Yeah, the J is lower than the O. It's the lowest of all the capitals. Just a little bit shorter than the O. Yeah, this one is, it's a toughie. Just gotta not drop that E so low. That shouldn't be hard to do. Oh, wow. I dropped the E a lot higher, but then I dropped the S higher too. Why is it so hard for me to drop that S so... I guess because that just makes such a giant oval. I get worried that I'm going to run out of movement. That was one heck of a snap. Yep, pretty sure there's ink on my phone screen now. Snap City. I started the Snap City logo for the t-shirt. I did get it. I started the design. I haven't really designed anything. I just put together the elements and sort of plotted out what I want it to look like. The first of the t-shirt design that we talked about ages ago. That's the idea. The S comes lower. Wonky ovals. But that's the first time that I hit one on this. So this E, this has to come down a little bit lower. But then I have to keep that the size that it is. Okay. And we have to... This little cross in here is great. If I could just keep that same way every time. Open connections, everything has space. That's what I need to do every time. In a perfect world. Better. Oh, he brings the J up above the baseline. Because the dot after the J is below that little thing. Okay. I'm also not dropping my O and S far down enough. Noted. Getting there. Slowly but surely. better. Getting there. My O and my S still aren't on the baseline, which is slightly problematic. Ooh, that one's really good. Not perfect, but my S needs to be a little taller. But that's the right idea. My J's a little too far to the left. Yeah. Cool. On the right track. That's all that matters, that we stay on the right track. Lost my hairline, but that one's good too. Well, nope. Not low enough after the S. And no flow in the beginning. Ugh, relax. Every time I come out of that S, I lose this hairline. But that was a pretty good one. I don't like that how much space I have between my J and my O, which I haven't been able to close yet. That's just because I'm making my E too far to the left, which I should be able to fix relatively easily. The cool thing about that S is it's that perfect compound curve stem stroke that continues into a horizontal oval. Oh, just 27 minutes. I'm gonna cut it off before midnight tonight. I apologize. We're gonna cut it off in like 5 minutes. 1 minute before midnight. My shoulders are tense today, and I'm gonna stop writing. Doing that much lowercase writing is a little bit taxing. I think I was tensed up a little more than I should be. That was better, spacing wise. It's a long time for me to be here talking and writing Ojaswini. It seems like our themed lives, when I have lists or things to get through, or when we end up going quite a bit longer and I forget about the time. But these ones that don't really have themes or specific targets to do, I notice the time. Why did I make my J so skinny? If I wouldn't have taken my J so far to the left, that would have been a good one. Well, except my S isn't lower than my E, which is a problem. But... Damn tense shoulders. I need a massage. I should actually find somebody. I should probably find... I haven't got a massage since I moved to Vancouver, and I probably need one. Well, no flow, but we got the J closer that time, which is what we needed to. He also doesn't keep his J straight the whole time. My J is not the same angle as my S, which I gotta fix. It needs a bit of a bigger shade, some juice. As Just when he says. We will try one and we'll give it some juice. Cool, that might be the best one yet. I still lost my hairline after this S though, but that one's, well, and I was chunky coming out of my E here. But spacing wise, this has to come up a little higher after the E. I just gotta keep that cascading oval going a little higher. Other than that, oh, and my E is still my E is lower than my S, which is not good. It's coming though. All right, one more. Come on. I feel like that happens every second oval I do now. What a... Nope, no good already. Yeah. It's not far off, but it's not good enough yet. But it's not far. We'll film it tomorrow. Maybe? I'll film my breakdown tomorrow morning. I should have done that today, but I got busy burning some leather. But I will film the breakdown tomorrow morning and post it. And then I will give it some shots. And I will post it when I get it good. Maybe Thursday? It's nice to post them on Super Flow Thursdays. Anyways, thank you very much for hanging out, everybody. We are 1 minute to midnight, so I'm gonna cut this off before all my lights go off magically. If they do, the time zone might have messed up with their clock a little bit. But thanks for hanging out, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. If anybody was writing along with me, post it on Instagram and let me see it. Let me see your Moderati letter if you wrote it. And next week, we're gonna do some kind of theme. Comment down below. Oh, black light turned on. Comment on down below what we should do next week, or let me know on Instagram. But actually, no, put it in the comments on YouTube. Comment what you think we should do next week. If you want to do signature, or if you want to do poems or story again, or we haven't done a Q&A in a while where people can ask questions on Instagram. But let me know what you guys want. We could do carving. I could show some of the pen carving stuff I've been working on. And maybe we could do formal. We could suit up. Maybe everybody, well, I mean, I guess I'll be the only one in a suit unless you guys want to be in a suit in the chat. But I will be, maybe I'll suit up next week. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see if I suit up for tap class tomorrow. Check my Instagram and you'll see if that happens. But yeah, we'll find something. But if you have ideas, put them in the comments on YouTube so I can see them and we'll decide what we're going to do next week. We'll make it a fun one. And yeah, thanks a lot, everybody. Make sure that you're falling in love with the process. And don't forget that life should be just a bit of silliness, really. Good night, everybody.